good morning. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. The sun is out. It's shining. It is kissing everybody. The sun is just smooching all of us. All of us. And we're not complaining until much later on when it gets so much hotter. Then we're in trouble. But of course, it being a beautiful Tuesday morning means we are looking at books this morning, having our nose stuck straight between the pages. And of course, I am sitting down with resident bookworm Audrey Chilenje this morning. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning, Candice. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. How did your event go on Saturday?
It went well. I'm just grateful. The creators came. We had so much fun and we learned a lot.
Oh, wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you're doing something else soon.
Yes, the anthology, the short story anthology, and then the poetry anthology. Right. So we hope to have a launch for that on 25 November.
Okay, 25. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. And that I'm going to be part of.
Awesome.
By force, by fire. But this morning we are looking at the book Peace in the Storm by Stella Gonye Chuma. Peace in the Storm. Tell us about this.
So this one, it's a Christian book. Stella is a dental practitioner. She's a life coach. She's an author of 3 books already. She's a wife. She is a mother of 2 amazing girls. And what I liked about this book is we all know that we all go through the storms in life. But what she did was she took real life examples. She just did not regurgitate the Bible, like we always say. She went and she got 6 people to share their stories. So you find the 6 people sharing their stories, they offer their insights, and then thereafter they sort of explain what it felt for them. So it's a real book. Yes.
I like that. And you're saying it's 6 stories. So when you buy the book, you'll see that on the front cover, apart from the title and the author's name, you'll also see chronicles of real stories of perseverance and conquering the storm, which already tells you that, look, it's not a moping book. It's not a book about, oh, my life is so bad and, oh, things just never go right. And it's, yes, things have gone wrong, but I've moved on from that bad part and I've used it to kind of turn things around, yeah?
Exactly. And in the first chapter, she takes an analogy of the purification process of gold. It goes through a whole lot of processes, the heat, the stages, but ultimately it comes out beautiful and shining. And we all like some gold. Wouldn't you like some gold, Candice?
I'm a silver person myself, but I can do some gold. Like, I can use some, rainy days and sell. But
yeah. So like what you just said earlier, to say that, you go through life and you can't keep on moping about it. You need to learn and then grow from it and then move on with life. So that's exactly what she was doing. So you find that in the examples of the stories, we've got one prominent pastor, Pastor Sunday. I was even amazed that when I read the story, because you see him on TV, he's now based in South Africa, and you think everything is good and dandy. But even pastors actually go through bad stuff patches, as well. Yeah. His mother was sick for like 4 years, and he had to go to the hospital literally every day. But meanwhile, he had to go to church and pastor, and he's got people who are coming and saying, Pastor, I need this.
Please pray for me, and please do this for me, and yeah.
He actually mentioned to say that I was praying for people and they'll get healed, etc. But my own mother was wallowing away in hospital, and she ultimately died. But he talks about how he went through that. And then another story which I found very fascinating. If you look at the back of the book, it's got a logo, Eat Out Movement. So that young man who started that movement, he's now based in Zim, but then he was based in South Africa.
Right.
He was actually homeless for 8 months.
Wow.
Living on the streets.
Wow.
Because he tried to go to uni, then the fees didn't work out because his mom was a widow. So he ended up trying to work odd jobs, to try and fund his dream. But then at some point, he just lost everything, and he was literally on the street.
Wow.
So from that experience, he then started this Eat Out movement, which caters for people who are homeless, who are going through difficulties.
And that definitely is a positive way to... I can't imagine being homeless. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to read some of these stories, especially at the beginning, and considering that we don't know where they're going with their positive push. But it also then reminds you of how hard it is to get through a bad patch as an individual on your own. You struggle through it, and then when you get to the other side, you're like, oh, but okay, I could have I could have been easier on myself. What are some of the key lessons that we learn from the stories that are shared in this book?
Okay, so some of the insights are every storm carries with it a hidden purpose, and that is actually very true. Most people with purpose, your Tyler Perry's, your Steve Harvey's, whatever, they came out of an issue and then they found their purpose. And then some storms come to reveal your hidden worth. Some storms come to refine you. We spoke about that. Storms may be unavoidable, but remember, no storm lasts forever, just like what you were saying. Nothing is permanent in this life. And then also that peace is the most important gift to us all.
That's very profound. Who's reading this?
Everyone should read this because even like I mentioned, that youngster was in university. So I know like the young people will be like, oh, this is not my story. But everyone has a story, whatever age. So you need to read this, and then you need to know that in every storm, there's a blessing in that storm.
What does it also teach us about relativity? I mean, you know, sometimes you think you're the only one who's going through something until you read something, you're like, oh, I'm probably not the only one who's experienced this. Or, oh, yes, I can understand that. Or, okay, sometimes I feel as though I'm alone, but actually we all are doing stuff.
Very good question. You find that everyone goes through things just differently. We all have experienced pain in different ways. So even from the stories, you know, there's a cancer survivor in the book. She navigates and tells us about her story. But do you know that everyone has some little illness that they battle with? Some have hay fever, some have chronic headaches, some have high blood pressure, they're taking medication. So each and everyone has an illness going on at different intervals. So it's very relative.
Where do we find this?
This book is at in Bulawayo. You can find it at Choice Pharmacy, and then Amazon online, and then here in Harare, it's at Redemptorist Bookshop. And the price is $15 per copy.
Okay, I think it's definitely worth the read. Peace in the Storm, especially if you are currently going through a very bad patch. This may be a good thing for you to pick up right now because, you know, as we've said already, it's often very difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in the middle of a situation. But nothing lasts forever, not even pain. So you will get through it and you will be okay. But do pick this book up and just get your nose stuck in it. And at the very least, it will provide you a good distraction at the moment to just help you get by as you read the different stories. You've mentioned that there's 6 in here. We know 4. We know the author. We know the pastor. We know Young Eat Out.
Okay.
And then we know the cancer patient.
The other one...
cancer survivor.
The other one is also a dental practitioner, and she failed the last exam. You know, when you think you're sharp in everything else, you've never failed, then she failed the exam. And then the other one is a widower. Her husband died. And she talks about something which is very prominent, you know. She lost her friends. She's mourning her dead husband. She needs those people the most, but they betrayed and abandoned her.
Oh, man. And we can definitely relate to that generally in life. The book is A Peace in the Storm by Stella Gonye Chuma. Please do remember to pick that up. Audrey, before I let you go, you've brought me goodies. I love it when Audrey comes around. She brings goodies all the time. And you've brought me your books. You've brought me your new books. Day in the Park. Those who have kiddies, this one is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. Kanye, this one is coming to you. Audrey Chilenji, of course, Day in the Park.
Yes.
All right, so this is for the kiddies.
For the kiddies, preschoolers up to grade 1, grade 2, definitely that age range.
Love it.
And then I decided to go into poetry. I'm evolving.
Wonderful.
So this Vision of Love is 45 poems.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to put aside whatever I was reading now and let's dig in. My Mother, My Hope.
So this one, I was accused of being a musalad. I always write about the village, the fancy food. So this book, Hope, is 13 years old. It's set in the rural area. So I've evolved, and we're now in the rural area.
You're no longer salad.
Yes, and because I used to go Kumusha during the holidays, so I know stuff about Kumusha. So
right.
So it's an interesting read for the teenagers and also the parents.
Okay, so we've got something from Audrey for everyone. We've got the kids, we've got the teenagers, and then we've got you and I. So there's definitely something for you to pick up. This Version of Love is the anthropology. That is the collection of poems. My Mother, My Hope is a story. So this is fiction, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Always
wonderful.
Fiction.
We were lacking in fiction. This is fiction for the teens, and then of course Day in the Park for the kiddies. What story is this?
This one, they go to the park.
Is this Zoera and Sinda Kangano type of?
Sort of, yeah. So he talks about the background, like where they stay, their friends, and then one day they decide to go to the park just to experience the park.
Oh, love it. And the pictures are so nice and clear and beautiful. Love it. And do you know what I'm loving most about this? There's all kinds of kids. All of them. Every single, like, whatever color they are, they can find themselves in this book. It's cute. It's absolutely adorable. Now, Audrey, I'm going to let you go for today, but
we should review one of my books next week.
I think we should.
Yes, we should.
I think we should do this one here.
Awesome. Good pick.
I would have gone through it by then. So let's do that.
Awesome.
So next week, you already know what we're talking about. Talk about letting you know in advance. So if you can also grab a copy very early on, and then you can join us as we go through it, that would be perfect. The book that we will be looking at is This Version of Love, an anthology. English bundles by Audrey Chirenje.